moving aside, let's move on to, well, we've been talking about Snyderverse. It's just back in the news.
Back in the news, yeah.
It's awesome to see it.
It's back in the news. So this came out. So I want you guys to give me your take on this article. Have you guys read it?
I didn't get a chance to read it yet.
Rocks.
I skimmed through it, but let the audience in on it. Give them the rundown.
All right. So basically, this is Brad Curran. He's from fortressofsolitude.co.za. I guess that Z is that New Zealand or no? I don't know. Whatever.
Not sure. Doesn't matter.
He's been doing a lot of articles lately about Snyderverse. Now, granted, he is not a scooper. He's not saying, "Oh, the Snyderverse is going to get restored or is going to get sold to Netflix or any of that stuff." He's not saying that. But what he is saying is the universe is still alive. Because we're still hashtagging. It doesn't matter if you hashtag restore the Snyderverse or hashtag still Snyderverse. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
We all want the story to conclude. We want closure. That's what we want. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how we get. There are many ways to get to Rome. Some of us are taking the sell route. Some of them still want to go the restore route. Some of them are doing the release route. At the end of the day, guys, we're fans, we're the audience, we're paying customers, and we have showing with our wallets.
And the thing is, too, is regardless of how you're hashtagging, okay, we're keeping the conversation going. And by keeping the conversation going, people like this author right here are going to talk about it. And they're going to keep that cycle going within the news, right? So that's how we make this happen. That's how we keep pushing forward. It really, at the end of the day, I don't think it matters what you're hashtagging. It just matters that you're hashtagging and supporting seeing this vision happen. So that's kind of where I'm standing with this right now.
Yep. He says right here, also that Zack Snyder has supported Blue Beetle, obviously sells Snyderverse to Netflix. In the Joe Rogan Experience also. So this listen, there is a reason also why David Ayer has been back in WB, because it must, maybe, like you said, director, maybe the Ayer cut is plan B.
Yeah.
It's
I think the Ayer cut should have been plan B after Joker flopped. I think after Joker flopped, I would have been like, put that fucking movie out now.
I think that's what pushed the push the button, because when it flopped, they're like, okay, listen, the next movie coming out is Superman. If that shit goes down the toilet, we need a plan B like yesterday. So that's why I think this is. And listen, like I said, you guys can have it all. You are DC. James fucking Gunn, listen to me, please, motherfucker. Listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, look, I said I was gonna fucking rant today because I've had it. I've had it. Leave your fucking ego aside. Yes, we know your fucking ass hurt because of Dawn of the Dead. Get the fuck over it, okay? You can have all of it together. You can have your sandbox. You can have your DCU. Zach, let him finish his story. It's only 4 fucking movies. That's it. We're only asking for to release the Ayer cut, which is already filmed. They just gotta score it and maybe a few effects. Maybe spend maybe 20, 30 million.
I would argue less. I'd probably think they could probably finish it for 15.
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's assume with marketing, let's say 50 million.
No, not 50. 15. 15. You were saying
marketing?
Okay, with marketing, I'd say maybe 25 tops. I wouldn't throw that. They would, dude. Look at what they did with the Snyder cut. There was no marketing behind it, and we still made it a success. It was the fans that pushed it. All Zach put out were a couple little, clips here of Darkseid, a clip here of Superman, a clip here of Batman. That doesn't cost money, bro.
No.
They didn't. When they put out the Snyder cut, WB did not market that fucking film. We did.
Well, they didn't market it because they didn't market because they didn't want to.
But I'm saying, take the same strategy with the Ayer cut.
No. I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is, if okay, let's assume they don't want to spend on marketing. Yeah, we're gonna make sure that shit hits hits $1 billion, that'll hit $1 billion right away.
I
Plus, you got
guarantee.
Fleet. You got also Ben Affleck footage.
You got Ben Affleck
as
in there. You
Batman
got Margot Robbie
with
in
Killer
there. You got
Croc
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
fucking sewers.
They have a lot of
Come on.
content they could put out.
There's a lot. You got 40 minutes of Jared Leto's Joker.
That's what I was
that we
going to
can
say. You got a
kind of
whole
see.
side story that we never saw with Jared Leto's Joker. You got one of the #1 actresses in the world after Barbie. You got Margot Robbie in the film. You got Ben Affleck in the film. You have all the there's so much content, bro.
So right here, Sin Havoc says like 10 tops. Okay, so let's go with Sin Havoc. Let's say $10 million. I'm gonna go with 20. I'm gonna be a little bit more, higher end. You invest $20 million for a theatrical release. From WBD's standpoint, they're only putting $20 million. Oh, but it costs so much money. Fuck you. That was Warner Media. Warner Media no longer fucking exists. So all you shields
the
out
film's
there
just
giving that
sitting in a
excuse,
vault.
it's sitting in his fucking laptop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you release that movie, you're gonna get your money. That's gonna be the best fucking return on your investment ever. So you have DCU. Okay, James Gunn, have your lunacy movie come out. Whatever. I ain't watching it, so whatever. Have your Supergirl movie. Whatever. Okay. I read the story of Superwoman tomorrow. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest story in the world, but it was okay for me for being Tom King. You have DC Black Label. There you can put freaking dark stories. Like you can put the 4 last movies. You could put, and listen, you can have a quote unquote test run of the DC Black Label in theaters with the air cut. If it's a fucking hit, which it will be, we all know that because we're going to make sure it's a fucking hit. You do the Ben Affleck movie. And after that, Zack can come back and do Justice League 2 and 3 back to back. Done.
See, I'll be honest with you, man. I would settle with a streaming or digital release. I don't even think they need to do a theatrical release.
Wait, they can do either theatrical or listen.
I know the fans want theatrical. I get it, but for me, it's like just give us the content. I just want the content now. I'm not going to argue about how I watch the content. I just want the fucking content. And if it's less of a burden on the company when it comes to funding the completion of this project by releasing it on a streaming platform or releasing it just digitally instead of, because I get it, man. You got when you're talking about putting it in a worldwide in theaters, like you got to pay for those screens. WBD does have to pay for those screens, and if they're not willing to make that fucking investment, just put it out digitally.
However they want to listen. Whatever strategy they want to implement, I could give 3 shits. I'm gonna watch the movie and I'm gonna push it on this platform and on with all the people that I know either way. We all are. So, but what I'm saying is you can do it. You can have it both ways. DC Black Label, DCU, DC Elseworlds, right there. Look at Marvel right now. They've got Marvel Studios. They got Marvel Television. They got Marvel Special Presentation. They got Marvel Spotlight. Why can't DC have the same shit? You can put the DCU content, which is for the quote-unquote kiddies, whatever, Black Label for the grown-ups. And you're making money on the PG-13, just like Rebel Moon did with Netflix. Okay, we got the PG version for all the kiddies, and now the director's cut for all the grown-ups and the hardcore fans.
Right.
You can do exactly the same thing with DC. Have DCU for general audience, for all the whatever, and Black Label for all the hardcore DC guys that are like us, that we know, the lore, the details, and everything, and you're catering to both audiences year round. And again, what I was saying earlier, I'm not a parent, but let's say Rox, you're a parent. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have children.
Yep.
When they grow up, and you start teaching them about DC, yeah, you're gonna teach them like, hey, the first stories of Batman, Superman,
Dude,
whatever.
I already started them already with Batman the Animated Series. I got them on.
There you go.
Started with that one real young, right? But eventually, I want to be able to turn around when they're a bit older, and I want to be able to show them like the Dark Knight Returns. You know what I mean? That's or even like what was the other one? They did an animated version of The Killing Joke. I can't show that to them right now because there's some subject matter in there that I don't want them.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not ready for that. But that's the beautiful thing about DC DC. You could literally grow with these properties because there's stories for every age bracket. I could show my kids the stories that are meant for them now, and as they get older, I could start showing them more stories. What's funny is it was recently, just yesterday, my parents, my kids, they love the Super Mario movie, the new one, right?
I'll be right back, Rocks. You keep cooking.
They love the brand new animated Super Mario movie. But just recently, we were at my parents' place, and I found an old DVD of the Super Mario Brothers movie from when I was a kid, the 1990s movie with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. Right. So I actually got to show them that for the very first time now, and I know it's not everybody's got their opinion of that movie if you're a video game fan or whatnot, but just to be able to see my kids start off with the animation, which is meant for them, you know what I mean, and then try to watch this movie now, this live action, complete different iteration of these characters that they love, but see them try to resonate with those characters and try to make the connections with, oh, this is from this in the video game and this is from that movie. Like it's a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? So to be able to see people grow with the content, and I think that's why DC resonates with so many of us. We grew with the content. We all started off like when we were little kids watching Batman the Animated Series and the New Adventures of Superman, right? And then we got to see the very first dark version of Batman, with that being Michael Keaton and the Tim Burton films. We grew with that, and then we grew into seeing that realistic, grounded take that Christopher Nolan provided all of us. And then you take that, and now they added in those fantasy elements, yet still a grounded take when it comes to what Snyder was trying to do. Like it's something that we all grew with, and that's something that those kinds of stories. It's what Charles was talking about earlier. It's what Riggs was talking about earlier. Those stories are not there when it comes to those other brands, those other corporations that are feeding us these properties like Marvel and all that, Disney and all that. It's not on the same level. It doesn't connect with the audience on that emotional level. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but I grew up and I watched all these Marvel films, and they don't stand out and connect with me like the way Batman does, like the way Henry Cavill's Superman does. It's two different levels, and when it comes to these properties, I think that it's important that people be able to grow with them. It keeps everything interesting. It keeps it all new. It keeps all these different interpretations. That's why we never get bored of Batman. You could give us 500 different Batman movies, I guarantee you're never going to get bored of Batman, because there's always a new iteration and a new take on it.
Yeah.
So Phil, you're back.
Yes, I'm back. So yeah, dude, like, listen, like I agree with you 100% what you were just saying, like, because Super Mario Brothers, yeah, like, it's like you got to start from some point, and grow with the IP, grow with the content. That's why, again, DC is perfect, because I can outgrow a certain type. Because yeah, I'm not going to be watching always the Adventures of Superman animated. I want to, I want to see something a little bit more dark. I already saw it when I was a kid, and I already saw Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which, yeah, I still watch them once in a while. But again, I'm a 41-year-old man, so I want to see,
you want to see
something darker.
Yeah,
something
you want to see the content that's aimed towards you. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
Like I said, that was the beautiful thing about DC, and the way it was done prior to James Gunn taking over. It was content that was aimed towards us as we grew with it. The DC shifted with the times. They evolved. They gave us. It got grittier and darker and more mature, as we all did. And now it's like they're just going right back to. It's like if they were to take it and go right back to the 1960s Batman. That's what I feel like we're getting with the DCU. We're getting that 1960s version of the property.
Yeah,
just modernized.
Yeah, no, it's again, like, it sucks that we're here but we're here and we got to deal with it, and all we can do is keep talking about it. Like, guys, like, listen, it's been 11 years since Man of Steel. That's a long time for us to still be talking about a movie that was released 11 years ago.
That's nuts.
And I don't hear people talking about fucking James Gunn's movies from the past. When do we talk about Guardians?
Talk about Guardians of the Galaxy like they talk.
Nobody.
Like I'm sorry, people don't talk about Marvel like the way they talk about this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but people don't talk about Iron Man.
Don't you fucking dare say that's in Havoc. Don't you I love George Clooney. Do not make me hate him.
The most passionate Marvel fans, I will say, are Spider-Man fans. I'll give Spider-Man fans their due. They are quite passionate and they do talk. And even me as a a millennial growing up with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, that still resonates with me today. But like I said, it's just it's deeper. DC has always been deeper. There's always been more layers. There's always been a deeper message behind their stories. Revenge of the Batnips.
So James Gunn, his contract ends 2026. I'm going to tell you this right here, right now. It ain't getting renewed.
Nope. I don't think so either. I think we're going to get Creature Commando. I think we're going to get Lunacy. I think both of those are going to flop. I think Supergirl's going to get canceled, and that'll be the DCU. It'll be done.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. Mark my words. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my hat. I'll admit it. You know what I mean? So I'll take my L if I'm wrong. But that's my prediction.
And that's what I like about us, our podcast, because listen, when we're wrong, we're wrong. We own it. Listen, guys, we are going to keep fighting for this. Because we, at the end of the day, we love DC. We want DC. None of us want DC to fail. On the contrary, we want it to thrive. Unfortunately, DC now is under the stewardship of some really, really bad people that don't think about the business side, don't think about the shareholders, because we've talked about the stock market of WBD. I've been following that stock left and right. It's not going to work. The wound is too deep, all because, and this is the thing that pisses me off. And director, give me your take on this before we wrap up and we go to final topics. Okay, you had to let Henry Cavill go because Daddy's Azzy said, "Listen, I can't afford him. We got to go like way, way cheap." Fine, okay. If James Gunn would have at least kept his fucking mouth shut, yes, James Gunn, if you would have kept your fucking mouth shut, okay, and not shove to our throats with that Variety article, James Gunn writing Superman movie. Yep. When the fucking wound is fresh an hour earlier that Henry Cavill's no longer coming back. You had to fucking do that right away. You couldn't wait a day or two, not even a week. No.
You had to pour salt on the wound. You had to pour salt on the wound, right?
Right away and make it fucking even worse. Motherfucker. Fuck you, James Gunn.
Tell him how you really feel, buddy.
Listen, I'm trying to keep it comic book related, movie related. I can go way darker with this motherfucker. I could go there. I could really fucking go there. But I'm not going to. I'm going to reserve that for another time if it needs to be talked about.
It will be.
But I'm sure he's on a specific list. That's all I'm going to say. I'm fucking sure he's on a list.
You know what the problem is with WB and their whole DC brand right now? And it hasn't been now. It's been for a while.
listen, He's like, let it out.
It's wild because the problem with WB is since the beginning with Batman versus Superman till this day, and it's still not working, is the Marvel formula at DC. we grew up with these characters. Batman has always been dark. Take whichever version you want of Batman, it's always been dark. It's just who that character and what that world is about.
Yes.
Superman has always been positive, hope, and all that stuff. But now let's focus on Zack Snyder's universe. We're just focused on that universe. What Zack was giving us was something almost like what Christopher Nolan was doing, but still staying comic
It was on a
accurate.
much more grander scale. It
Yeah,
was about it.
Charles says it all the time. Lord of the Rings type.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what he was giving us. A Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And he gave it to us. We saw the potential that it has. But the thing is with WB is that they're still till this day trying to catch and cash in like Marvel. They want that money like Wolverine and Deadpool.
Mhm.
WB and those
But
executives.
the thing is they're going about getting it the wrong fucking way, and that's what we've all been saying for
That's the
years
thing.
after years after years. They've tried this bullshit already. They've
Yeah.
tried to go the route of, okay, let's tell the story of like these side characters that don't really matter, which is what James Gunn is. Like they did the Birds of Prey movie. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They did that whole lineup that originally came out after Justice League, after the theatrical version of Justice League. Like all of it failed. Nobody cared.
By the
Nobody was
way,
interested.
Frank C. I hope so. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope so. I'm like, guys, I'm sorry. Like, I am at that point now with James Gunn that I don't give a fuck.
I think
I'm
it's
at that
gonna
point.
happen. I think
I'm
that's
at that point that I want this guy gone because listen, again, if he wouldn't have thrown salt in that wound, okay, fine, do your shit, but you know, be mindful that emotions are high. No, he had to fucking go right away, and yeah, no.
But back to my point of what I was saying earlier, though, is that like they tried Shazam. Shazam didn't work. They tried Birds of Prey. It didn't work. They tried Wonder Woman 1984, where they completely fucked up the tone of Wonder Woman and what Zack Snyder had envisioned that character to be, in my opinion. Okay, didn't work. Then they did the Suicide Squad. Didn't work. Like Shazam Fury of the Gods didn't work. So at what point do you just pause and say, okay, let's go back to what worked?
But here's the problem. Here's the problem also. Like, wait, what? Okay, so you mean this, Sin Havoc? Can you please okay, please clarify. Don't leave me hanging there, dude. Don't not leave me hanging.
Guns on Diddy's list, eh?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, I'm sure it's either that one or the other one, but he's on the list.
Well,
we all know
that Diddy was apparently an amateur filmographer, right? Like he was an amateur. He liked to capture a lot of stuff on video, right? So,
by the way, director, Sin Havoc is our how do I put it? Our guardian angel.
it's like our encyclopedia.
It is encyclopedia, yeah. Just so you know. Phil, would they would have to put Superman Phil in the rest of the slate and it can't. I don't give a fuck. I
don't think that's what's going to happen though. I don't think they're going to put the Superman film in the can. I think Superman's going to come out. I think it's going to completely fucking bomb. I don't think there's a chance it's going to do the kinds of numbers that they're expecting. I think Creature Commandos is going to get flushed down the toilet because it's going to suck and nobody's going to watch it. And I think after that, I think they are just going to fold. I think it's done. I think the DCU will fold.
I will give credit where it's due because I am a person, I am reasonable. I liked the animation of Creature Commandos. I like that, like the way it was drafted, designed, but I'm still not going to watch it because it's James fucking Gunn.
I'm not watching it.
I'm not interested in his story. So the villain in Gunn's Batman movie is the Diddler.
I wonder if he'd get his brother to play that one.
Well, isn't he playing? Oh wait, wasn't it? So here's how crazy is that shit? So he has his brother playing two characters, Weasel and Maxwell Lord. So what? You're gonna release a Maxwell Lord statue also of your brother? I can't wait for that. Pre-order selling for like what?
Tell me, show me a bigger, besides Henry Cavill and David Cornsweet's Superman. Okay, show me a bigger downgrade than freaking Pedro Pascal to Sean Gunn. Show me a bigger downgrade. Like, I'm sorry, but
listen, DC is in the shithole, and I even something I forgot to also mention that like they were like saying on New York Comic Con, oh, it's so packed, everybody's excited for James Gunn's Superman and Creature Commandos. You really motherfuckers, you really think we don't know people that are in these conventions and they don't tell us what's going on? Like, really, you guys really think we're that fucking stupid?
and that's the thing is, I think it's now it's up to us. Now it's up to the fan base to start holding these narratives and these people accountable. You know, like if you're at a convention, you got a cell phone, take footage, upload that shit, show the world, show people what's actually going on. Don't let them get away with the false narratives.
Yeah.